Greetings and salutations. Movie Watcher 123 here, and for today's live stream, we are going to be talking about the best and worst moments of one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows, the Powerpuff Girls. That's right, the Powerpuff Girls, one of my favorite shows on Cartoon Network. So once my friends join in, we will get started. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to put down the first episode. Hang on a sec. Okay. Here it is. Meet Fuzzy Lumpkins. Now this is the short of the show What a Cartoon. So this one details when Fuzzy Lumpkins loses a jam contest, he creates a meat ray gun that turns anything into raw, butchered meat, leaving it up to the Powerpuff Girls to save the day before everyone and everything in Townsville is turned into a butcher shop. So this is one of the shorts from What a Cartoon. This is the first one that came out in 1995. So the Powerpuff Girls were trying to stop Fuzzy Lumpkins from turning Townsville into meat. So yes, I give this short a 10 out of 10. Okay. Next one is Crime 101. This is another one of the shorts on What a Cartoon. When the Amoeba Boys fail at being real bad guys, the Powerpuff Girls teach them how to be bad by robbing a bank. They get a lesson in criminal justice when they get arrested. So they were trying to teach the Amoeba Boys how to become real bad guys, but in doing so, they got themselves arrested for robbing a bank. And yeah, big mistake on their part. So this is a second short on What a Cartoon. I give that one a 10 out of 10. Okay. This is the first episode of the Powerpuff Girls. Monkey See Doggy Do. So in this episode, Mojo Jojo steals a magical Anubis dog head and unleashes a curse that turns everyone into dogs, including the Powerpuff Girls. But the three sniff out a solution and show Mojo Jojo that their bite is worse than his bark. So Mojo Jojo breaks into the Townsville Museum and steals the magical Anubis dog head and uses the power to turn everyone in Townsville into dogs, including the Powerpuff Girls. So now they have to come up with a solution to try to defeat Mojo Jojo once and for all. So they had a plan. Buttercup came up with an idea by going around and biting Mojo Jojo, causing him to writhe in pain by dropping the Anubis head, smashing it into pieces. And in doing so, the spell that turned people into dogs finally broke, and everyone turned back to normal. So much for turning Townsville into dogs. So I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Okay. Next one. Mommy Fearest. The girls find something uneasy about the professor's new girlfriend, I'm a good lady. It turns out that she's really the sinister seducer who gets the girls grounded so she can commit crimes around Townsville, such as making off with the mayor's jewels. So it goes like this. The professor and the Powerpuff Girls were going grocery shopping at the supermarket until they come across Miss I'm a Good Lady, and the professor starts falling in love with her. At first, she was easy to get along with, but unfortunately, later in the episode, she starts mistreating the girls. But unfortunately, she was the one that got punished because she was nothing but a crook. Sedusa thought that she can get away with it. Unfortunately, she did not actually. And so she got busted. Now she's the one who's grounded. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. All right. While I'm still waiting for someone to join in, I'm going to put down the next episode. Insect Inside. Sounds like insecticide, but spelled differently, right? Anyway, vile villain Roach Coach plots to infest Townsville with his army of cockroaches. The girls must fight their fear of bugs in order to squash Roach Coach's scheme and force him to bug off. So basically, this guy known as Roach Coach tries to infest Townsville with bugs known as cockroaches. Unfortunately to the girls, they have a strict fear of bugs. So they have to conquer their fear of bugs in order to defeat Roach Coach and his army of cockroaches. Yep, but it turns out Roach Coach is a cockroach in disguise. So he was able to infest Townsville with cockroaches at first, but unfortunately for him, the girls were quick to retaliate, and finally Roach Coach has been squashed. Yep, that's what he gets. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Okay. Next one, Powerpuff Bluff. In this episode, 3 escaped convicts, repeatedly beaten by the girls, fashion themselves new identities when they find grown-up-sized Powerpuff Girls costumes inside Townsville jail. Using their pseudo-superhero status, they glamour civilians of money and jewelry, while the mayor mistakenly calls the police and has the real Powerpuff Girls thrown in prison. So basically, these 3 guys who were defeated by the Powerpuff Girls over and over disguised themselves as them. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to the mayor, he inadvertently called the police and had the real Powerpuff Girls arrested. Yep. That is just crazy, man. He should have known it was those 3 convicts that were disguising themselves as the Powerpuff Girls. Alright. I give that episode 9 out of 10. Alright. Want to join in? Let's go. Here's the next episode. Octi Evil. In this episode, the Heinous Hymn toys with Bubbles' mind by speaking to her through Octi, her favorite stuffed animal. Following its instruction, Bubbles provokes a fight between her sisters that prompts the professor to issue a timeout until the girls can make amends and make squid meat out of the now giant hymn-controlled Octi. So yes, so one battle that the girls were about to go to, Bubbles somehow brings Octi with her. Unfortunately, Blossom didn't want her to do that. As this is supposed to leave it at home. Pardon me. All right. I give that episode a 10 out of 10. Yup, 10 out of 10. Uh, just a second. Be right back. I'm back, everyone. And now I'm going to put down the next episode. Next one, Gesundheit. Now, in this episode, the Amoeba Boys' ill-conceived plan to stand in front of the Keep Off the Grass sign at Townsville Park all night in the rain leaves them with a terrible virus. When they infect the Townsville population, it's up to the girls to find the antidote. So basically, what happened in this episode is that the Amoeba Boys were standing outside in front of the Keep Off the Grass sign all night at Townsville Park, which is a big mistake because when it started raining, it got them very sick. Which is a big mistake. Now they started making everyone sick. So the girls tried to race against time to find the antidote and make everyone feel better, which they did. And now they all feel better again. So I give this episode a 10 out of 10. How would you rate this episode? All right, I'm going to put down the next one, and if you feel like you want to join in, I've provided the link. Okay, next one. Next one, Butter Crush. Now, in this episode, Buttercup develops a crush on Ace, the leader of the Gangrene Gang. However, when the gang exploits her infatuation and lures Blossom and Bubbles into danger, Buttercup quickly comes to her sister's rescue and shows the boys the real meaning of the word crush. So basically, Grubber disguised himself as Buttercup. You see, Grubber is a member of the Gangrene Gang. So yeah, at first, he Ace thought that he could actually woo Buttercup. Unfortunately, she showed him what she really thinks about him. Yeah, so that's what happens. Just a second. So in the end, Ace got himself a severe beating. And I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Okay, next one. Fuzzy logic. Now, in this episode, the beastly Fuzzy Lumpkins goes wild in Townsville, and only the Powerpuff Girls, with some help from a flying squirrel, can teach him to respect other people's property. So basically, basically, Fuzzy Lumpkins was going wild around Townsville, hitting people, beating people up. So Fuzzy Lumpkins was very serious about protecting his property, and if anybody were to take something from him, he would go completely insane. And you know, Fuzzy Lumpkins, you do not want to make him mad. You do, and he's gonna give you a severe beating. Okay. The next episode's gonna be hang on a sec. Here it is. Boogie Frights. Now, in this episode, Bubbles must face her fear of the boogeyman after he blocks out the sun and allow his monster friends to party all the time. So, yeah, Bubbles has this strict fear of the boogeyman, and she gets scared by him easily. Yeah, so Bubbles tries to face her fear of the boogeyman. So they do what they can to try to stop him from destroying Townsville with their incessant partying. So in the end, the boogeyman was defeated and Townsville was saved. And I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Okay, if you have any episodes of the Powerpuff Girls you wish to talk about, you know what you have to do. All right, next one. Abracadabra. In this episode, Illusion, the old-time Townsville magician, pulls off his greatest magical stunt when he comes back from the dead as the zombie Abracadabra. Luckily, Blossom also has a special trick up her sleeve. So, Illusion was performing a magic trick from years ago until he performed one that went horribly wrong and he ended up dead. And so he came back from the dead as the magical zombie magician Abracadabra and had revenge against the one who wronged him years ago. And so in the end, Abracadabra was defeated. Hang on a sec, guys. Okay, next one. Telephonies. Now, in this episode, the Gangrene Gang gets hold of the mayor's hotline to the Powerpuff Girls and makes, quote, prank calls, sending the girls on a wild goose chase all over town. However, when it's the notorious villains Mojo, Jojo, Fuzzy, and him that the gang disturbs, they learn the price of making prank calls. So never make prank calls because that could get you in serious trouble. And I mean serious. Trust me, you do not want to do that. Alright, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Alright, I'm going to put down the next episode. Alright, here's the next one. Tough Love. Hang on a sec. Everyone in Townsville loves the Powerpuff Girls, but the citizens have a sudden change of heart when Hymn sends out an evil gas that turns the entire town against their favorite superheroes. The girls must fight the ones that they love to get them back to normal, which they did. They did. Hang on a sec. Now, in this episode of Tough Love, wow. The girls at first didn't want to fight the people that they love, but unfortunately they had no choice. They had to beat the living daylights out of them in order to snap them out of Hymn's control. At first, they felt bad for what they did, but in the end of the episode, they apologized. So, yeah. In the end, they apologized and they were all forgiven. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Alright, next episode. Who wants to talk about the next one? All right. Here's the next episode. Major competition. In this episode, there is a new man in town, Major Man, and an impossibly perfect superhero who cuts in on the girls' turf. Unfortunately, Major Man isn't as perfect as he is supposed to be, as the girls soon discover and come up with an idea to make Major Man reveal the fraud that he is in the midst of a monster attack. So, Major Man thought that he was the best superhero he was. Unfortunately, he was a complete fraud. So the girls thought of an idea to teach him a lesson. And they did. So he was finally busted. All right. Next episode, I'm going to talk about here's the next one. Mr. Mojos Rising. When Mojo Jojo kidnaps the professor, it's a blast from the past. A blast of Chemical X, that is, after Mojo Jojo reveals he was once the professor's beloved assistant. The professor is coerced into giving Mojo the same superpowers as the girls. However, once empowered, the true evolution of this supervillain chimp comes to light, a fact Mojo Jojo will certainly regret. He caused Professor to add Chemical X to the perfect little girl formula, thus creating the Powerpuff Girls. That is just messed up. Wow. Now we know how this happened. So in the end, a sec. Hello there. It's Ali Official. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Okay. Oh, you're a girl using your cousin's phone. It's alright, it's alright. Okay. I'm gonna put down the next episode. Oh, yes, because he is sleeping, so you think why not? It's all right. Uh, oh, want to know a fun fact about your cousin? Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. All right, next episode I'm gonna talk about next. Paste makes waste. Let me see. Buttercup teaches. Oh, hang on a sec. What? Your cousin Ali still uses diapers even he is 19? Oh my god. That I did not know. All right. Paste makes waste. Yeah, that's right. I know. All right. Paste makes waste. Buttercup teases paste eating classmate Elmer. When a fly with atomic chemicals enters into the paste, Elmer turns into a destructive paste monster. Buttercup has to get out of a sticky situation by doing something against her tough nature, which is, in fact, of course, apologizing. Now, you're probably wondering how this all started. Well, here's the cheese. Oh, yes, you do remember that episode. So do I. It's a good one. Now, you're probably wondering how this whole thing started. Well, they were all at Pokey Oaks Kindergarten working on their art projects while Miss Keene was taking attendance to see who was present and who was not. Then all of a sudden, this kid, Elmer, was eating, ready for this? He was eating paste, glue. You know, paste and glue are the same things. But however you say it is fine. He was eating paste and he was being made fun of for that until Buttercup starts making fun of him the most by calling him Paste Eater. Then she got a very stern reprimand from her teacher, Miss Keene, and told her to apologize, which, however, is against her tough nature and she didn't want to do it. She still doesn't want to apologize until later in the episode she had no choice. She did apologize, and Blossom and Bubbles were set free, and and all that sort of stuff. All right. Yep. So she apologized after all. Some tough nature she has. Wow. Okay, next, I give that episode 10 out of 10. All right. Next one is this, Ice Soar. Now, in this episode, during a heat wave, Blossom discovers she has a new power, which is ice breath. But when she doesn't use her new gift wisely, she gets a chilly reception from her sisters until a fireball aims at Townsville, affecting her decision in using the new power. So, yeah, when Blossom has this new power, Ice Breath, her sisters Bubbles and Buttercup were jealous. Jealous that she has a new power, but they don't. Yep. Yep. In the end of the episode, Blossom had no choice but to use her new ice power to stop the flaming fireball from hitting Townsville, which she did succeed, but in the end of the episode, she got a new power, Fire Breath. Wow. Wow. That just changes things. Really, it does. Okay. I give that episode 10 out of 10. All right. All right. Here's the next episode, Bubble Vicious. Now, in this episode, I know what you're thinking. What happens in this one? Well, here it is. Bubbles is tired of people dismissing her as more sugar than spice, especially the professor and her sisters, who treat her like a baby. When she sets out to prove she's hardcore, she takes everyone by surprise, even Mojo Jojo. So what happened was is that they were having like a fighting simulator in the professor's lab. But Bubbles wanted to do something more intense, but the professor did not. And he set it to danger level 2, citing she's not ready for the higher levels yet. Yeah, that pissed off Bubbles so bad. So bad, you have no idea. So, yeah, in the end, she was going wild to prove herself how tough she can be by beating the crap out of some people. In the end of the episode, she did apologize for what she did. And she is hardcore indeed. Okay, next episode. Next episode. All right. Next episode is the Bear Facts. Notice the spelling. The Bear Facts. After Mojo Jojo kidnaps and blindfolds him, and after the girls save him, the mayor has to rely on the girls' very different individual accounts of the crime to figure out exactly what happened. However, he is still at a loss to explain why the girls keep giggling at him. The end reveals that his clothes were stolen. Yeah, that's what happened. That was the reason why they were laughing at him so much. So, yeah, 10 out of 10 for this episode. Okay, let's see here. Do you have any episodes you wish to talk about? Anyone at all? Any episode would be nice. This is the last episode I'm going to talk about. Catman-Do. Now, in this episode, Bubbles saves a seemingly innocent little cat from the clutches of an evil villain. But when the girls discover it's actually a cat who is evil, they must save the professor from becoming the perfect victim. So yeah, they were fighting a villain whose face was not seen. So it's as if the professor was under the cat's control. But unfortunately, they had to snap him out of it. And the cat's plan to destroy the world was failed. So in the end, the professor was back to normal and out of the cat's mind control once and for all. So yes, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Yep, I give that episode a 10 out of 10. So this has been a wonderful live stream. I'm glad that somebody in the comments joined in, and I hope that you all have a great day. And I will see you in the next live stream. Until then, stay in touch and join me in the next live stream when you get a chance, okay? So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.